Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel Tech Transition with Yax. Like I said earlier, I will be taking on different data analysis projects which will enable me to showcase my skill, my technical knowledge to potential recruiters. They will also understand my thought process and how I approach different analysis projects. So this is going to be the first video in the series, and in this video we will be analyzing a retail data set. We'll try to find meaningful insights that will help our business manager to make informed decisions that will help their business or that will help their business function better. So stick with me while I get to work. Thank you.
So the project we'll be starting with, like I said, is a retail analysis project. In this project, we've been given a data set. Let me see. This is the brief. We've been provided with data set which is of retail transaction data spanning two time periods, 2009 to 2010 and 2010 to 2011. So, and the task is to uncover detailed insight from this data. Insight like the following: the sales trend, the customer segmentation, the product performance, and geographical insights. One thing I have realized is when you are doing analysis, depending on the industry that you're analyzing stuffs on, there are different uh, KPIs and metrics that you need to work with. Like this retail or sales, you have to do sales trend, customer segmentation, and stuff like that. But if you're working with in healthcare, you'll probably be working with different kind of KPIs and metrics. And because of this, your calculations or whatever you're going to be calculating, or if you're working in Power BI, your measures will also differ. Of course, a lot of these our formulas are the same, but then you will probably not be doing sales trend when you're working with ER or hospital data set. You will probably not be doing product performance. You'll rather be doing something like total number of patients, outgoing patients, total number of incoming patients, how many patients were admitted, how many were discharged, average waiting time. These are the kind of things you'll be calculating. But for retails and sales, you'll probably be working with sales trend and stuff like that. So let's get it right. Let's just jump right into our project by going to explore the data set. I've downloaded the data set to my computer and I've kept it in a file. This is the data set. But first thing first, what I like to do a lot of times is when I get a data set like this, I like to keep the original and work with a duplicate so that if I make mistake, I can always go back to the original. I'm assuming that maybe whoever my contact is, my client is not always available. So I have to be very careful with data set so that I don't have to be running back to them all the time for a new data set due to an error that I must have made or something. So I'm going to copy and just paste here and rename into something like project duplicate or something like that. Okay, yes, so this is the copy. So I'm going to rename it into, I'm just going to leave it as copy. So let's open it up to see what we have inside. It's going to take a while because it's a large, it's a large file, about 45 megabytes, and for an Excel document, that's quite large. That's quite large. So we're just going to chill a little bit, wait a little bit for it to load up, so that we can go through our data, familiarize ourselves with it before we jump into our project. So while this loads, I for every analysis in my head, I always segment them into three different parts. That's a part of data exploration, data familiarization, data cleaning, and data preparation. Then the second part is the part of dashboard designing and visualization. This will enable us to go into the third part, which is the analysis and the reporting of our insights from the data set. So in this particular video, the first will be doing the first. That's the data cleaning, exploration, and things like that. We'll get it ready to be moved into the next stage, uh, which is the visualization and the dashboard designing. So with this is our data. Let me first Control A, then Alt H O I. This will this will space data so that we can read everything very well instead of clicking on this column and be shifting them one by one. But like I said, it's a large data set, so we have to be quite patient while the system processes it and does what is required of it. So while that is going on, let me just do this. Let me widen it myself. That's invoice, that's stock code, that description. This is quantity, very good. This is invoice date. This is price. This is customer what? Customer ID. This is the country. So this is very good. So because we are working with two different years, we probably would need to combine these data sets as our project progresses. So we need to so for this to happen, these two data sets they have to be of the same structure. What I mean by this is that the number of columns have to be the same. The column headers also they have to be the same to be easy so that Excel can easily detect it and combine for us. Either we are working with inside Excel or we're moving into Power Query for cleaning, which is what we eventually do. So let's check here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8 columns. uh Column headers: invoice, stock code, description, quantity, invoice date, price, customer ID, country. Very good. So we have 8 columns. The number of rows may not be the same, but the columns have to be the same so that it will be easy for us to append our data together. So let's check the other data set, which is this. Okay, so the so I think these are similar. The two are similar. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 columns, and we have similar column headers. This is very good. So what we'll do now is that we'll open our Power BI because we'll be doing our dashboard design in Power BI. So, but this first stage of cleaning up our data, we'll be doing it in Power Query. With the Power Query is also here. If you want to do it here also, we can always do it in Excel too. But I think the best thing is to open our Power BI desktop. Then we'll import this file into Power Query there. Then we'll do our transformation and our cleanup there. So once we are done with that stage, which is the stage 1, we can then close and load it into Power BI where we'll begin our dashboard design. So for our dashboard design, we'll create new measures and stuff like that. When we get there, well here first thing first here is we're going to be cleaning our data. So I'm waiting for it to load. Very good. So I'll open my Power BI. Then I will go and get my data. I can either click here because my data is Excel workbook, or click here. These are different ways in which you can import data into Power Query. So that I it, there are so many ways, but for the purpose of this project, we'll be importing our data from a Microsoft Excel workbook. Remember, we've made a duplicate of this data, so we keep the original and we'll import this, and we'll import the duplicate. Karomi. Yes, yes, this is our duplicate. Balancing. Oh, we have to close it from here first. So let's close it. Then we can import it. While we wait for it to import, I think it's important to also say that uh, a lot of things have advanced, and AI is doing a lot of stuff for people. So in this project, I will also be using ChatGPT every now and then to get direction on things or on places that I might be stuck. I honestly feel that AI is going to be part of the world. It's already part of the work culture. So the earlier we who are new to tech space embrace it and ethically use it, the better. So we can either load in Power Query if we feel our data set is clean enough and there's no any other correction or clean up we want to do a transformation. You can just click here and load directly to Power BI. But for this particular one, I number one, we need to append the two data sets to join them together to combine them. So we're going to click on transform and let the Power BI load our data into Power Query rather. So these are the 2 years, 2010 to 2011, 2009 to 2010. So the first thing that I will do is that before I even check data type or anything here, I'll first append these two data sets into one. That's merging them to one. No, yeah, we have merge queries and append queries here. Merge and append, they're like joins and union in SQL. But for here, because we want Power Query to place this data on top of each other, not we are joining them based on the rows, not on the columns. So we're gonna be appending as new query, not merging. So we append as new query. So two tables. We have just two tables. If we have more than two tables, we just click here. So it gives us the option. So the first table is 29 2010, then the second one is 2010 to 2011, which I'll click OK. So the first thing, then I will change the name from append one to something more meaningful, something like uh, full retail data. That being done, the first thing I always like to do is I'll check through the data type to make sure that we have the correct data type for each column. Or before that, remember that we had 8 columns for each one. So let's check our Power Query. When we checked in Excel, we had 8 columns. So let's check our Power Queries if this is still right. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6, 7, 8. That's correct. Let's check our data type. This is ABC and 1, 2, 3, and I can only see numbers. maybe down. There'll probably be some that have alphabet attached to them. Yeah, so we have to leave it as that. Is the invoice. So we just press cancel. This is stock code. Already we can see that there are some that have alphabets, not just numbers. So it is why Power Query has detected it as ABC. The same thing with description, the same thing with quantity, the same thing with invoice, the same thing with price. Oh yeah, quantity has a whole number, which is understandable because it has to have whole number. Invoice is this shows date and time format, which is what we can see here. This is price, decimal, understandable. Doesn't have to be whole number. A product can be £9.99. A product can be £250. So it's understandable. Customer ID is in number, and the country is in text. Fine. So that being said, we are at our data cleaning stage now. So the first thing I like to do when I want to clean data is I like to check for duplicates. And in this case, I'm thinking which column or columns will I use to check for duplicates? The most logical one to me is invoice. It's invoice. But if I use, because I can see 489434, 489434, I can see the same thing. But if I now, let me check something. Let's say I come here and I will check everything and I check just this alone. Why does it have so many duplicate values? So I'm gonna what I just did is I filtered out every other one. I wanted to return just this first invoice, first invoice for me. So when it does return this invoice, I'll check the stock code, I'll check the description, I'll check the quantity too. Because if the invoice number is the same, or if the invoice numbers are the same, but the stock codes are not the same, that means I cannot remove them as duplicates. Because if I do, I'll be removing valid transaction because it shares the same stock code or because it shares the same invoice. So that means I will have to combine these two to remove duplicate. I think that's, but let's let it filter out first, then we will see which is going to be used. It's taking like forever. It's a heavy data set. Fine. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 rows. But if we check the stock code, none of it has the same stock code. That means this same invoice is for different products. It's for different stock code. Yes, different products. Let's check the dates they were purchased. The same date, the same time. Fine. But it's different products. So we cannot filter, we cannot, they are not duplicate product, they're not duplicate uh values, because if we check here now, it's the same customer bought everything. That now makes sense why the same invoice was used, but the customer bought different products. We cannot just keep this one, this Christmas glass ball light, and remove these other ones. It's not going to work. It's going to affect our analysis at the granular level. When we get to the very, very nitty gritty of it, it's going to affect it. So what I would do is I will I will select, I will use more than just the invoice to check for duplicates. I will use the invoice, the stock code, and maybe the invoice date. So what this will do is that, let me tell you, for example, I'm just going to quickly do something, then we'll continue. For example, let's say we have this invoice, stock code, quantity, price, blah blah blah, and we have this invoice, but we have this, we have this, we have this. If we are only supposed to remove this and this because these are the only duplicates there. This and this, they are not duplicates, even though they share the same invoice, they share the same invoice date, but they do not share the same stock code. They probably are different products. So only this first one and the third one are the same products. They only those two are duplicates. In this case, we keep the first one, remove this other one. So let's go back to our Power BI. Let's go back to our Power Query and cancel this filter. So we will be removing duplicates based on these two columns, the based on the invoice and the sorry, we'll be removing duplicates using the invoice and the stock code. So I'm going to control this and control copy this too. So I come to here and I remove duplicates. So let's see what's going to happen. So this is done. This is done. So the next thing I would like to do is I would like to come to quantity. Let me check. You can see there are negative values in the quantity. Quantity should not be negative. I don't know why these are negative. Maybe they are negative because maybe they could be returns. That may be why they are negative. Return items could come out as negative. So what I will do is I will first remove whatever is empty. I don't think quantity should be empty. So I'll click on remove empty. That's the first thing. Then I'll come again and filter and do number filter. So greater than. So I'm going to filter. I'm going to keep the ones that are greater than. So let's do number filter. So apply one or more filter conditions to the rows in this table. So keep rows where quantity is greater than 0. So what this will do is this will help take out all the negative numbers, including 0. So our quantity will just begin from 1. So let's press OK. If we come back here now and we check, you see, we don't have 0 again. So I think we're good with this. Invoice date. Invoice date. Okay. Price. This date, because we're still going to create a date table in Power BI when we get to Power BI, when we import our data, or when we load our data into Power BI, we're still going to create import date table. So it's always a good practice to separate this date into year, month, maybe week or quarter, because from this our analysis, from this business question, we're supposed to find sales trend, analyze sales as they vary across month, quarter, and years. So month, quarter, and years. So we will be separating this into different columns to get the year, the month and the quarter. So, but first, let's separate the time from the date. So I'm just going to come here, go to add new column, then I'll come here, days. So I'll go to year. So it will give us that year, 2009, 2009, yeah. So that's fine. We'll come here again. We'll do the name of the month. I want name of the month. Yes, I want name of the month. I want name of the month. Yes. So let's come here again. We're still here. We've done year, we've done month. Let's do quarter. Quarter of the year. Let's do quarter of the year. Let's do quarter of the year. What else do we need to do? What else do we need to do? I think that's about it. Week, we don't need week, we don't need day. Quarter of the year. Month. What I like to have is no, but we're going to be using slicer. So in our Power BI, we're using slicer. So we don't, because I was thinking maybe we could have something like a Q4 29, Q4 2010, Q3 2011 to differentiate which year and which quarter. But it may not be necessary because when we get to our Power BI and we are designing our dashboard, we'll have date slicer that will have year, quarter, and month. So that will help us to filter the month. So we may just move on. Just move on. So what can we do with time? I don't think we're analyzing based on time. But let's go on. So that being done, I will like to have those newly created columns very close to the date column. I'm just going to click here, click here, click here, then I'll drag. Then I'll drag here. Okay. So let's go to my battery is low, so I need to get my charger. So let's continue. I was hoping this video will not be more than 15-20 minutes, but I can see we are on 28 minutes. So that's maybe I'll just do some quick edit when I'm done so that I can fast forward all those places. I can speed it up all those places that were loading and stuff like that. So moving on. Now we have our price and our quantity sold. Then check the okay. Let me check the price also. We can have negative price as well. So let's come here and check our price because we cannot. Let me filter out empty. Price cannot be empty too. That's one. So and I also like to filter out anything. So anything less than 0 or anything less than 1 or anything I would like to just I'm keep row price where keep rows where price is greater than 0. So it could be 0.1, it could be 0.2, it just has to be greater than 0. Done. So I'm going to create a new column now, and the column will be for sales, that's price times quantity sold. So that will be sales, that will be our sales column. So we'll come here. I think it's custom column. Yes, custom column that will go to. Very good. So we'll rename this into sales, and it's going to be quantity insert multiply by price insert. You see, no syntax error detected. So we can create our column now. This cannot be, this has to be, it has to be fixed decimal because it's a calculation. I don't think we should have those zeros at the back. So let me come back here. Let's see. Let's current. Let's see what's gonna happen. Okay. I think this is ready to be loaded straight into Power BI. Well, let me cross check again. So view column quality is 100, 100, 100, 100, 100, 100, 100. So why is this 96, 96? We have empty customer ID. We're going to do customer segmentation, so we cannot afford to have empty customer ID. So we have to filter that out. Remove empty. So the quality is 102 now. So I think we're good to go. So I can load my data into the Power BI now, so that we can get into the next step, which is the dashboard design and the visualization. So this is done. Our data is ready to be loaded. Oh, one more thing. This name description, these are the items that are sold. So should the title description, I can change it to item for easier identification. I think I would like to change it to items. This is better. This is better. So we have our year, our month, our quarter, because we will be analyzing based on this level. Which year has more sales, less sales, which month, which quarter, and I calculated for sales. So I'll just come back here. I'll click on this. I'll close and apply. Hopefully, I've done everything I'm supposed to do in cleaning up my data. So the next thing we'll go into is the second stage, which is the dashboard designing and visualization here. So that's what we'll be doing in our next video. Thank you.